We're bringing in Mahealani Richardson now to the H&N Digital Center to talk more about Red Hill, the water crisis. 1 year later, I can't believe it's been a year. I want to take you back in time, Mahea, which we just did in that piece. But when was the moment you realized, whoa, this was a really big deal?
Well, Jonathan, we all realized that this was a very big deal from the get-go instantly. I mean, the Navy had suffered fuel spills in the past, and because this involved the U.S. military, I knew right away that this was going to be a national incident.
And we've heard about controversies over Red Hill for years and decades. Ernie Lau, known for raising the red flag for some time, right?
Right. For 7 to 8 years, he had been saying because of these underground tanks, which are sitting 100 feet above the aquifer, he was saying all along that he was concerned that there would be a catastrophe, a contamination event, and it happened. And so when that happened, there were reports of the fuel smells and the chemical smells. And so I knew, we needed to see it, smell it, feel it for ourselves. And so what we started to do was meet these military families, and to get onto base at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, we went there as their guests, jump into cars with dogs, families, children, and we went to their homes. And that's how we were able to see for ourselves the fuel in their drinking water.
Yeah, that's the most important element to this whole story is the people side of it. And I think you, one of the best reporters in the entire market, really reaching out and touching the real lives that it matters to. What are some of those moments that stick out of the people you met, and how have their lives changed since the crisis and now to today?
Well, John, I think what was really interesting for much of the crisis is that a lot of the families that I talked to, Jamie Simic, who we just saw in that story, they all felt that they were crazy because, and even I, when I smell that water, you go, oh, is it something in there? Is it something real? And then there were mixed messages. The Department of Health was saying, don't drink the water, but the Navy was saying, we're drinking the water, it's fine. And so that was leading people to question themselves. Am I just, what should I believe? What should I do? So there was so much confusion. And I think by telling our stories, we actually helped to validate that this was a very serious problem that needed immediate action.
And just sort of looking ahead to just today, it really shows you a vibe shift from the military. They're holding a media briefing, right, later today. And it's sort of an about face in who we're hearing from.
Absolutely, it is an about face. In the beginning, the military, the leaders of the military were saying that this is not a crisis, that there was no contamination in the water, and we were still drinking it. And there were communication differences and lapses between the agencies. Now there's an entire joint task force. They're trying to involve the community. There are a lot more meetings. When you talk to military commanders like the admiral who is in charge of the joint task force, they say water is critical. We understand the community. We need to get that fuel out of Red Hill. And so you can tell that they have now had several meetings with important leaders of the community, like Department of Health, like the governor, like Ernie Lau at Board of Water Supply, and they seem to be on the same page in terms of messaging.
Yeah, that media briefing we're expecting to stream live on your H&N digital platforms today, somewhere around 1 o'clock, we think. We don't have the exact time. Sometimes it can fluctuate a little bit, but around 1 o'clock, look for that push alert. Also coming up later today on later editions of H&N, Mahea has another story you're working on, right?
That's right. All week, Jonathan, we're working on a series of investigations. It's H&N Investigates Red Hill 1 year later. And we are looking at the people, like the people who've been impacted by the tainted water crisis. And we're asking them to go back and to go forward. And so we're hearing tonight at 10 from Ariana Wyatt. Her daughter drank the fuel-tainted water and is suffering these strange lumps on her neck, and they are testing her for cancer today. And she's only 4 years old, and so we follow their journey.
So many angles, and that's why we're doing this long series all week long here. Red Hill, 1 year later.